Okay, so now we're on Notes 6, writing linear equations. And we're going to write them in the form of y equals mx plus b. We will be filling in the m and we'll be filling in the b. Remember, m stands for the slope, which is the rise over the run. And the b is the y-intercept. Okay, again, what's y-intercept? Where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay, so keeping that in mind, let's start. So we need to find the m and b in each one. All right? So the easiest thing to find is the b. Okay? And this line right here, the b, it's crossing on the y-axis at 1. Everybody agree? It crosses at 1. So b here is definitely 1. 1 by itself. That's not a decimal. Okay? How do I figure out my m? Well, they have two perfect dots designated. I know the line's going downhill in this direction, so it's definitely going to have a negative slope. That I know. And how am I going to find the slope? I simply make a triangle, and that one of those perfect triangles will be between the two dots. Okay, you could do it this way, or we can even do it on the top. Either way, it's going to come up with the same numbers. And we're looking for the rise over the run. The rise here is 2. The run is how many boxes across? 1, 2, 3 to get to the perfect dot. So the run is 3. The line is going downhill, so it's technically not a rise, it's kind of like a down. So I have to put a negative sign on the 2. So there's my m. This is the m. So we have the m and the b. We just need to fill in the equation. So y equals, the m is negative 2/3 x. You got to put y and x where they belong. And what is my b? It's crossing at positive 1. Done. That's the answer. Okay? Let's take a look at number 2. This line's going uphill, so I know it's definitely going to be a positive slope. We agree, going uphill, positive slope. Can I find the b? The b, right here, look, it crosses the y-axis perfectly, okay? Perfectly, another one crossing at positive 1. My next challenge, and it's not much of a challenge, is to take your eye and run along the line and find perfect points, perfect intersections at vertexes. Here's one. It starts there. Run my eye. There's another. Run my eye. We got it right there. We got it right here. We got it right here. So there's your set of stairs. If I go back to the beginning, I go across 2, up 1. Across 2, up 1. Across 2, up 1. Run 2, up 1. So if I simply think of rise on top, run on the bottom, okay? What am I doing? I am running 2 units. 2 is my run, and I'm rising 1 box. That's your M. It's positive going uphill. So answer, y equals 1/2 x. Where's it crossing? At plus 1. Simple enough. Let's try this one. Okay, we are down here. Okay, let's take a look. My graph is kind of in the lower side. They shifted it a little bit. All right, so my B, what's my B? Is crossing at, this one's -1, -2, -3, -4. We good? Now I need to figure out my m. My m is the rise over the run. Find on this line the next perfect dot. Here's a perfect dot. The next perfect one is this guy. So I run and I rise. Rise 1, run 2, line going uphill, definitely positive. Equation will be y equals, what's my slope? 1/2 x, but it's crossing at -4. Okay? And try number 4 by yourself a second. Pick out the b, then pick out the m. And I notice my line's going downhill, so it's definitely going to be a negative slope. So this answer here is going to be negative, whatever it is. All right, here's my b. b is at -2. So I put b is -2. Now, I need to find on the line where they intersect in corners perfectly. So this is one of them for sure. I'm going to go up. Go up, 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 up. No, no, no. There's the next one. If I keep going, you'll see it happens again. And they're the same distance apart when you notice the pattern. So now I want to just find the rise and the run. So if I make my little triangle, here, it's the run is 2, 1, 2, but the rise is 1, 2, 3. So rise is 3 and run is 2. And notice the rise is technically down 3. Down 3 over 2. It would be down 3 over 2. So put it all together. Y equals -3 over 2. And it's okay to leave it like that. -3/2 x. And where did it cross? At -2. -2. So light. Okay, we're going to continue to the next page. We're at notes 6 on the back. Use the table to determine the linear equation in slope-intercept form. Plot the points and use the graph to determine the linear equation in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, that's the name for that equation, slope-intercept form, because you have the slope and you have the intercept. Make a comparison between the equation from the table and the equation from the graph. So in other words, they want us to just take the table here and come up with an equation. So let's see who remembers. If x is 0, whatever number here in the y value will be your what? Y-intercept. So this is your b. The b is 1. Okay? Can we come up with the m looking at a table? So the way to look at the table is to count. How are we counting on the x's? How does x change? Okay? So the x is going by what? By +1, isn't it, all the way? And how does the y change all the way? The change in the y was -7 to get to -3 was +4. From -3 to get to +1, you add 4. From 1 to get to 5, add 4. So the change in the y, remember, change in y over change in x. Change in y over change in x is, change in y is 4, and the x is 1. So my m is 4 over 1. So I have both info. I have the m and the b. Y equals 4 over 1x, which you could just leave it as 4x, and then plus, crossing at the b, at 1. Okay, now we're going to plot the points over here. And again, for some reason, the graphics are not always perfect. Just sketching a line there. -2, -7, -2, -7, way down here, put the dot. -1, -3, 0, 1. 0, 1 means don't go any way but go up 1. 1, 5. Over 1, up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yes, you do seem to be having a nice line. Put a nice ruler down. Connect the lines. Okay? There's your B. So the B here is a +1. Let's make the rise and the run. Run 1, and let's get up to the next dot. It's right there. Run 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4. So rise over run the rise is 4 boxes and the run is 1. It's the same what we got from the table. So put it together as an equation. Y equals 4 over 1x plus 1. So either way, you should know how to do both. Okay? Let's try the bottom. Go to the table first. Can we come up with the B? Remember, x has to be 0. Uh-oh, this one's a little different. X has to be 0. Can we get x to be 0? So -6, -2, and then +2. And then a +4. Okay, this one, This might be, since we're not coming up with the actual B, could be a little bit of a challenge looking at the B to get x being 0. It's somewhere in between here. So, I'm going to just plot the points. To me, might be the easiest way. So -6, 8, -6, down 8 is right here. And don't forget, we have one of these lines missing again. -2, 0. So -2 zeros there. And then 2 up to 8. 2, 8. Interesting. So evenly set apart, I would say. Where is it crossing? At 4. So +4, excuse me, at +4, the y is 4 at 0. So somewhere in there, if at 0, it would have been 4. So the B we get is 4. Let's see if we can get the M on the chart. Can we get the M on the chart? A -6 to get to -2, and then -2 to get to 2 is what? +4, right? From here to here, plus +4 and a -2 makes that. +4 and a -6 makes that. So the change in the x is by 4s. Let's look at the change in the y. Now that's kind of easy. -8 to get to 0, you have to add 8, right? 0 to get to 8, add 8. Got it? So my M is the change in y over the change in x. Change in y is 8, and the change in x is 4. Well, actually, 8 over 4 makes 2, really 2 over 1. So you can look at it that way too. Now, let's try it. If I go from this perfect dot, because you know these are 2 perfect dots on my graph, and I make a triangle, right here and here, rise and run. Run 1, 2, 3, 4. Run 4. Guess what this height will be? We know it's 8. So rise and run here for rise over run is 8 over 4. Same thing. Same exact thing. Okay? So, and again, 8 over 4 you can divide is 2, and 2 over 1. So I bet you if we really found another dot, so if I went here and ran my line, oh, that's another perfect dot, over 1 up 2. There it is. I bet you if I run my dot, you know what, the graph might be off slightly. It should be here. Here, it should be here, it should be here. Okay, sometimes the graphics don't copy perfectly on the machine. They get a little slightly distorted, but do you see it? Slope is still 2 over 1. So, we got it, the same thing. So, y equals, and I would just write it 2x, 2 over 1, or just 2x, and where did it cross? Plus 4. It's a positive slope going uphill, so we don't have to worry about putting a negative on there. Okay? A couple of ways of looking at that. All right. Writing equations based on a point and a slope. Use the information provided to determine the linear equation in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we know the m, the m is a negative. Okay, so this is interesting. M is a negative 1 over 4, so that's our rise over the run. And what's my b? Oh, they're giving a point. Well, I don't know what the b is, so I have to figure that out. But I can start at that point. So I'm going to start at negative 4, 2. So I'm going to find negative 4, 2. Oops, let's finish this little line. Negative 4 and up 2 is right there. So they're saying, starting at that point, use your slope. So I'm going to run 4, but I'm not going to rise because it's negative. I'm going to go down 1. So I'm going to run 4 from this dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1, put a dot. Run 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1, put a dot. Guess what? We got the line. All you need is 2 dots to make a line. 3 makes it a little bit neater. And again, okay. So now the equation would be y equals the slope they gave us, negative 1/4 x, and what's my b? We found it, plus 1. That's your answer in slope-intercept form. Okay, let's do the same thing. We're going to start at this point, negative 2, 0. So I start here, negative 2 and 0 means right there. And once again, we got to finish the little line. Okay. Use the slope. So the rise over the run is 3 over 2. So I am from this dot, it's like a little direction thing. I rise 3, but then run 2. 1, 2, 3, and run 2 to positive 1, 2, right there. Okay, so I got my 2 dots. I could do the same thing here. I could do 1, 2, 3, run 2 this way. See how I can continue it? So my equation, there's your b, y equals, here's your m, 3 over 2x, 3/2 x, plus 3. Okay? Keeping up. All right. How about this one? Oh, our m is 2. Technically, it's 2 over 1. So 2 is the rise, and the run is 1. And we're going to start here. Okay, guys, you try it real fast. Try it by yourself, and then I will do mine. Okay, so I'm going to continue. I'm starting at -4, -5. -4, -5 is actually right there. So, and my rise is a +2, 1, 2, and run 1. There you go. Run 1, 2, run 1. Now I'm going to keep going because I need to get across the Y. Run 2, rise 2, run 1. Rise 2, run 1. Do you see how it's consistent? Okay. Again, rise 2, run 1. Perfect, all the way across. So it crosses at 3. There's your y-intercept. There's your b. So the answer is y equals 2x. I don't need to put a 2 over 1, but 2x. And what's my b? +3. Got it? Everybody keeping up? If you can't keep up, then you're never going to learn this. So be completely focused. Have your pencil, papers, and ruler. That's all you need. All right, try the next page. Writing equations based on 2 points. Okay, well, first off, I'm going to finish off this little graph. Oh, this is so annoying. All right. Write a line, graph a line that goes through the 2 following points, and then write the equation. Okay, so I got to plot these points. First point, -3, 2. -3, up 2, 1, 2. Bingo. Got 1. How about 3, -2? 3, 1, 2, 3, and down 2. 1, 2. Got it. Take my trusty ruler. Connect them. Nice crisp line. And now I got to write the equation. All right. So let's just simply take the 2 points and make a triangle. It's a downhill line, so I know it's going to be negative. Going downhill. Negative slope. All right. My rise and run. My run, my rise. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So rise over run. The rise was a 4, the run was a 6, and I know it's negative, so I'm going to throw a negative sign there. Now, 4 over 6 can be simplified. And if we simplify by dividing by 2, keep it as a simplified fraction, -2/3 is equal to -4/6. And I bet you if we found this little graph, we would find, if you went 3 and 2, and it works, the same slope, down 2 over 3. We're going to find the same dots. So it kind of doesn't matter if I go from one dot to the far dot and just simplify my fraction, I'll get the same answer. What's your b? The b here was 0. So the equation is y equals -2/3 times x. And then would I write +0? Oops, +0? No, just leave it off. That's it. Because your b is 0. Okay, want to try the next one? Plot the 2 points, connect them with the dots, and try to count out your rise and your run. And I am going to fill in my little boxes. Okay. -4, -5. -4, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to be accurate. -3, -3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, these are close. But you can see the slope's pretty easy, right? So if I can tell what the slope is, it's over 1 up 2, over 1 up 2, over 1 up 2, over 1 up 2. You get how I'm doing that? So I can get a better line. I see the pattern right away. Right? So the run is 1, the rise is 2. rise over run. Between the two dots, you ran one box but rose 2. So simply it's just 2, right? So y equals, we want to fill in mx plus b. We want to fill in the m, we want to fill in the b. So y equals, we just did the m, remember this is the m, okay, is 2x, and then what's my b? Oh, got to go to the picture. Crosses at positive 3, plus 3. Final answer. Got it? This is not hard. It's just doing and practicing and just understanding what M is, what B is, putting it together. Okay? All right. The next page is your homework page, which you should be able to do on your own. I want you to finish on your own, and then I will put up the answers. Okay. You should have done this for homework, so I'm not going to go through every single step. But I've kind of highlighted it in red intentionally so you can look. Got to figure out the B, which is the y-intercept, as well as the slope. The slope, remember, you're counting the rise and the run, the boxes. Okay? This is the format of the equation you want to fill in. This is the slope-intercept form. This is a flat line. The slope is 0. Flat lines have 0. And where is this line drawn? Where every dot on this line going across would be y equals 3. That's why that is a simple equation, just y equals 3. Okay, positive slope over here. We know it's going uphill. It's, rise, run, rise, run, rise, run, so on. So it's 1 over 1 equation, y equals 1x plus 3. Line is going downhill right away. I know it's negative. The B is 3, that's the easiest. And what's my rise and run to get to the next perfect point? The rise was 2 and the run was 1. Put that negative with it. Y equals negative 2x plus 3. Okay, next page is to look at the table. Try to come up with the equation looking at the table. At the same time, you could graph it and come up with the line. So when I looked at the table, I started counting to see if there's a pattern. The change in the y and the change in the x. So the y is 0, 1, 2. The next one would be 3, then 4. So it was counting by 1. And I kind of put in there if that was 3. The x went negative 4 down to negative 2 down to 0. So actually that's adding 2. Adding 2. Okay? So the change in y is by 1. And the change in x is by 2 up on top. So that's my slope. That's your M. The B, looking at when x is 0, you got your B, is 2. So just put it together, and here's your answer. So then I plotted all these points, drew the line, and connected them, and it clearly crosses at 2, so that's your B. What's my slope from one dot to the next? It's over 2, up 1, over 2, up 1, over 2, up 1, over 2, up 1, etc. There's your rise over run. Okay? So y equals 1/2 x plus 2. Table and the graph are the same, represent the same thing. The bottom, we're just given a table. Can we come up with the equation? Remember what I said. If you have the x is 0, you got your b. So there's your b. X is 0, you got your b. So it crosses at negative 2. Okay, now, how do I have my change in y over change in x? The y column, how is it changing? It's going by plus 2. The x column is going by plus 1. Change in y over change in x is 2 over 1. So simplify that. That just equals 2. So put it together in the equation. Y equals mx, that's your m, is 2. And then the b was a negative 2. So it would cross at negative 2. From there. Next one, I don't have when x is 0, but I could. It started 1, 2, 3, 4, so clearly counting by 1, so if it went back 1, it would be at 0. But I got to match up the other side. The y's count by 2. Plus 2 makes 4. Plus 2 makes 6, and so on. So if it's plus 2, I minus 2. So minus 2 gets me back to 0, 0. So the b here is, it's crossing at 0. Now I just got to get the slope. Well, we did it. The change in y was by 2's, and the change in x is by 1. So it's y equals just 2x, because 2 over 1 is just 2. And we don't write a plus 0. Got it? Okay. You don't have to write all this stuff. I wrote it out for you to see it. If you understand it, you get right to it and do it. Okay? Given this is the slope and the point -4, -3. So the first step is you graph the point, -4, -3. You find -4, -3, which is -4, and -3 is right here. Then you use the slope, you use this, to make your set of steps, your rise and run, to create the line. So from this dot, this slope is telling me to run 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 1, put a dot. So I put the next dot. Then I continue it. Run 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, put a dot. Put your ruler down, you got your line. The equation then is simple. Put it together. Y equals 1/4 x. And where did it cross? At -2. Okay? Same with this one. Find the first point, 0, 5. Start at 0, 5. Count off using rise and run. -2/3. So instead of going up 2, we go down 2. 1, 2, and then run 3. 1, 2, 3. Down 2, run 3 would be off here. Put your ruler down, connect them. This one's easy. This is your B right there. Crosses at 5. Okay? So put it together. Y equals -2/3 x plus 5. Negative slope, line going downhill. And the last one on the page. Now we know the slope here is a -3. Well, remember, if you don't have a denominator, you make it 1. The run is always 1. Where are we starting? At -2, 4. So at -2 up 4, this is my start. From that spot, I am going to march off down 3 and over 1. 1, 2, 3, over 1. 1, 2, 3, over 1. There's your B. Got enough dots, put your ruler down, connect them, got a nice line. Negative slope, the M, we already know that, it's -3, okay? So Y equals -3x, and where did it cross? -2, or -2. Got it? This should be coming together easy now. If you haven't paid attention, I don't know what to tell you. You'll have to go back and watch my boring videos all over again. Okay. Graph line goes through the following 2 points. So I graph this point, over 1, up 2, over 3, up 8. There's the 2 points. So when I graphed these, I had this line segment, and I decided, let me see what the slope is. Over 2, up 6 made the slope. So I could do the exact same here. I went down 6 and over 2. Put the next dot. Just helped me make a nice long line. And once I did that, I saw where the B was. The B was crossing at -1. So putting it all together, I make the slope. Now, 6 over 2 can be simplified to 3. And that's 100% correct. You can simplify your slope to a smaller fraction, which is just 3 over 1. We just leave it as 3. Now, does it work in the picture? Yes. Over 1, up 3. Bam. There it is. Okay. So down here, I'm going to go down 3 here. Look at over 1, up 3. Perfect dot. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And it goes from here to here. Same thing. They should all fall in the same line. All right. Graph a line that goes through these 2 points. I plotted this one, and then write the equation. 0, -5 is here. There's your B. Put the other one, -3, -3, -2, and kind of sketch a line there for -2. Connect the dots. And you should notice it goes right through every little corner in every one of these. Whenever you see that, guys, the slope is 1. In this case, it's -1 because it's going downhill. So my slope is -3/3 makes -1. And the b was a -5. So my answer is y equals negative. Now you could write it just as this too. Y equals -x minus 5. Same thing. Same thing. You don't have to put the 1. We know that is 1x that we see there. Got it? Okay. Page 5 is a sample from a state test question. Looks hard. Oh my gosh, it looks so hard because it's a lot of reading. And honestly, it is so simple. In Mr. Jenkins' science class, in Dr. Veltry's science class, haha, the students heated a beaker of water on a burner. Oh, no, you wouldn't do that. When the experiment began, the temperature of the water was 20 degrees. So it starts right there. I took little notes. It starts at 20. Then after 8 minutes, the temperature went to 60. Okay, so 8 minutes went to 60. And then 16 minutes after the start, well, 16 minutes after the start, this was 8, so then it'll be another 8. It's at 100. And then it remained at 100, stayed constant for the next 8. Okay, so I need to find the picture. Which graph demonstrates this? Which graph has it starting at 20 degrees? Well, right away, A starts at 0. C starts at 0. Boom, neither one of them can possibly be it. Now I have to decide between these two. Temperature had two, increases. It went in 8 minutes, it went up 20, another, and then it went up another 8 minutes. At 16 minutes, it was at 100. So bam, this is good. Well, so is this. But then it stayed over time, increased, time kept going, and it just stayed. In this graph, somehow time turns around, which is impossible. So B cannot be the answer, has to be D. Easy when you think and process it out. It doesn't take a genius to figure these out. Okay, find the slope of the line, describe how one variable changes. Okay, so it's a draining tub. Line's going down. Well, that would make sense. It's draining. Oh, it must have started at, 14 gallons? And what's the rate of the drain? I just have to look at the rise and the run. Each box on the bottom, the width is 3. But the height is 2. So the rise over the run is 2 over 3. Okay? It's negative because it's going downhill. So I know the slope has to be a negative 2/3. So when I go to A, that has positive 2/3. Can't be it. Up, there's my negative 2/3. That's probably it. Let's keep reading. Up, that's not the rise. They switched them. Now the slope is not a -1. I'm not even reading the words. I can tell right away it has to be B because I know my slope is negative 2/3. The amount of water decreases 2 gallons for every 3 minutes. End of story. Oops, sorry, did I? Has to be a negative 2/3. Figured that out from the picture, so try to match it to the choices. Answer has to be B. Okay? All right, now we're moving on to the next lesson.